Okay, let me know when you're recording.
Oh, it's recording.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and start. We're missing a few people, but they'll probably straggle in as we go. So, welcome everyone to the Fraser Park Public Utility District regular meeting for Thursday, August 14th, 2025. We're starting at 4 p.m. We do not have any board members teleconferencing in today, where all our board members are present in person. We do have others teleconferencing in. You are welcome to do that using the call-in information on our agenda. And we are going to start by doing the call to order, and the pledge to the flag comes first. So if we can all stand. Ooh, ow, okay. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We can all be seated. Okay, roll call directors. Director Garcia.
Here.
Director Nyman.
Here.
Director Gibson.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
And I'm Director Schoenberg, and I'm presiding over the meeting. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 2, discussion, vote, adjust agenda if necessary. I don't know if we need to adjust. I doubt it, because we probably need to get caught up on anything new that might have progressed on our closed sessions, and I don't see D yet. I don't know if someone wants to call D and see where he is, because I think he was supposed to be here today. Is there anything else that, there he is. Welcome, D. Okay, D, are we going to need to do the closed session today? I'm thinking we are, but I just want to double check since we're on item 2 of the agenda, discussion vote adjust agenda if necessary. You're muted. Good evening, Mr. D. Jasper. Hi. Do we need to adjust anything, D? Closed session wise? Can't hear anything. Is that you or us?
Not us.
Okay, well, for now, we will leave it. Let me know if there's a problem. Have any of the directors found anything else that needs to be adjusted, removed, tabled? No. Okay, so hearing nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to item 3, public comments. These are items that are not listed on the agenda. We ask that you limit your comment to 5 minutes. Thank you, so that we, because normally we need to put anything that needs to be voted on the agenda for next time. Anyone from the public have a comment or want to comment as a public and not as a, anyone else? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna move on to item 4, report of officers, starting with my own report. I did sign the, deed of sale for the, not the deed, but the sales agreement. There's a couple other spots that need to be signed, but I think we're waiting on those.
You need to sign one later today.
Okay, I will be signing another one later today, this evening. So, but I did sign that. We had it notarized. I will be doing more. And so, that is on its way, which is, good. And it was already signed by, the folks that we're purchasing the property from at Well 9 and the, other auxiliary booster sites. So, that's really the only thing I think I did. Actually, I also signed in between the last meeting and this meeting a couple of, I think,
Did we do any claims?
I thought we did a claim too. Yeah, so anyway, I've been signing things, but that's it. And I'm gonna go on to the vice president. Do you have anything to report, sir?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay, how about the secretary?
I signed some, meeting minutes. That was it.
Okay, thank you. And the treasurer?
I signed the resolution.
And you transferred.
Oh, yeah, I guess I put that in here now or later.
You can do it now.
I put in, we did two transfers for the down, for the escrow payments or whatever you wanna call them, for the lands up north, or up west, whatever. From the CIR, I moved into the revenue operating $9,801 for the Bear Court property. And from CIR into the revenue operating, I moved $3,610 for Well 9 property,
So basically 10% of the property cost.
Yes.
whatever.
Okay. So far, any questions for anyone? Okay, how about our JPIA representative?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for our JPIA representative? No, okay, on to board member initiatives. Are there any board members, item 5, that have an initiative that needs to be brought up at this meeting? Hearing none, I'm gonna move on to item 6, our manager's report. So item 6,
Why don't we do the report first and then we cover the line items under it?
yes.
Okay. The first thing is, whoever was the contacts with the T-Mobile, I need, people to send me forward me the emails and, whatever you guys did, talk to the T-Mobile representative, because I know the final stuff was sent by the attorney that was helping us out, but I have no idea where that went to or anything, so I'm gonna need that information so I know how to reach out to find out why they're not paying us. Know what I mean? So I can't just call and go, hey, by the way, 'cause I'm gonna have to have all that stuff. So whoever worked on that, if you could forward me whatever you got, and maybe the guy's name or the guy's email that did the attorney stuff, then I could reach out for that too. But
Yeah,
either way.
You'll handle that, Director Kelly?
yeah.
So
Okay,
then,
great, thank you.
I'm gonna start reaching out, looking around for some type of grant money to help low income people, like kind of like Family Resource Center does or whatever. So just so you know, if I find someplace, I'm gonna go ahead and apply and see if we could get some help, because we're constantly dealing with people that are struggling and having a hard time, and the Family Resource Center won't help. They'll only do gas or electric or whatever. They won't do water for some reason.
Wow.
Well, they don't do that, Irwin?
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Isn't that what it was called?
the water one ended.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, so the state, county, whoever was doing it, they ended the water one. But the electricity and gas still is there.
I
That's
would
funny
rec-
because,
Oh, sorry.
just I was looking up something and, they, had that on there.
So you're talking about like the low income,
Yeah,
like
assistance
low income
program.
household energy assistance program?
Yeah.
That one exists. They had a low income household water assistance program and that one ended like a year ago.
So I would start maybe, by, contacting HEAP, which they're who Family Resource, one of the sources they use to pay low-income electric and gas, but they may also have something for water in Kern County.
Yeah, I already have some ideas. I'm just basically telling you that, that's what I'm gonna do, because
Okay.
even if there are other avenues, a lot of people could use help more. So, and if it's grant, not loan money, then it's just a benefit. Like for years, I've tried to find out how to get the bigger companies, they could offer, new toilets or rebates and, take out your grass and put in, and we could help. We don't have any of that, so. I keep trying to come up with something to help, but the best I've come up with was buckets with shower heads.
Right, but most of that usually does come from the county, even if it's a company doing it, they usually get
Yeah.
it from the county or from the state, so.
Yeah, and Kern County longer, but anyway, so I'm gonna do that. Then you guys probably got your notices already. I just sent out a notice saying that I failed to sample for hexavalent chromium. I always thought it was chromium hexavalent, but so we never had a sample for before. Now we do. We didn't have it later on when I sampled for it. But anyway, so I just sent a letter out saying I didn't do it. And I sent the sample with the results for the test along with it, so everybody could see that we don't have chromium hexavalent.
But we don't have a problem with it.
No.
Okay.
Say it was a new thing they decided, like everything the state's doing now, they come up with, oh, now we can sample for that, so now I sample.
So is that a false positive? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's just a new thing they wanted us to look for,
Oh,
like the PFAS, the forever chemicals.
oh, God.
Is that what that letter?
They could never test for it before, now they could test in parts per trillion. So now that they could test for parts per trillion,
They
You
want
test
to
for it.
now they wanna test for it, and it, you know, it's costly and anyway.
Okay.
It's just the way they're doing it. The other thing is, you know, the whole, changing out the computers. I did the other computers, then I did the laptops. They're swapping over the laptops, so they're current with what we need, for the Windows 11, all that stuff. Bills, transferring data on that stuff. Then we're done with that until the next time Microsoft decides to do whatever they're gonna do. I talked about what happens if you don't do it. Bill said if you have it at home and you use it for like gaming or something, then it's no big deal, but if you do any kind of anything on it and you don't have security updates, then it makes it easier for people to hack in and get your banking information and all that stuff, so you have to change them no matter what. The guy came in today, I had a meeting with him. This is the last time I will try working with somebody for solar, if you guys want me to do it. There's a thing I have to fill out. They work with SCE. Supposedly they can come up with no out-of-pocket money for RFDs, which you guys remember, we had to get bigger generators because our wells are either on or off. There's no flow ramping up. Costs too much for us to retrofit them. So supposedly they might have a way to help retrofit those. So then solar could help in the long run. So if you guys are good with me, I'll pass this around so you can see the little thing that you want me to sign. Or I can put it on the agenda for next month if you want. I mean, next meeting if you want to. Yeah, actually have time to read it. But basically, it's just a agreement saying that we're gonna submit stuff to them and then they're gonna see what they could do and then they offer a proposal and then we decide if we want to proceed with it or not.
For the solar,
Solar and like I said, going to the RFDs, there's another
what is that,
program.
RFPs?
Frequency
VFDs.
proposal.
VFDs, Johnny.
Right now. Go ahead, Dee.
Yeah, just VFDs. I know what you were getting at. Variable speed drives. Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of ours kicks on with 480 and it's a hard hit,
Yeah.
which it always is. The
Yeah.
VFDs will lower and so you need less energy up front. So if he could come up with that, then that's great. He's also looking in, not this same program, but he's looking into, I said, well, I wouldn't put solar on this roof unless there was some kind of program for a new roof. Because, well, that's another thing. He said, but I'll look into that as well to make sure you get it because I don't mind. I'm not opposed to getting solar, but I've spent, this is the shortest meeting. I've spent 2 full days with solar people before and then never even got a response from them. Yeah.
And I think, you know, we can also look into, when we do talk to them about putting it in the yard and not on the roof, because you can actually, the ones you put on the yard, in the yard or whatever, you can, move them to like face the sun in different directions. I've seen those. In fact, somebody in town has one of those.
Well, typically for this size, they would move it themselves, because they track the sun, but, I did tell them that the only way we can do it in the yard is if we had the kind like at schools where they put the roofs above the equipment out there. I brought that up in the meetings before. Put a couple of long roofs out there and then they put the solar on top of the roof. Because we have no real estate on the ground. They have to put it up above the ground. We have zero real estate for anything. And in most of our sites, we have zero real estate to put things
Cause
on.
they go on a, like a towel, like a big pole.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is not even remotely big enough to do anything we need, so. But having enough to park all our heavy equipment underneath the roof, like parking spaces, and then you put them on the roof. That's what schools and hospitals do, and then that is enough. But there's batteries and there's all kinds of options, even if it doesn't help us with our pump cost. That's one thing, but it sounds like you're only gonna save 5 to 10% on your energy costs from what I was reading, which is still nothing to sneeze at if it costs nothing up front, and then eventually when the stuff's paid off, then it's just a gain.
But anyway, so I'm gonna look into it before we do anything other than this. We'll, obviously have you guys decide if you wanna proceed or not, so I'll have this added to the agenda in 2 weeks. So you guys can read it and see.
And this company is one where you lease and they get.
I don't know any of the particulars, right now. They've worked with Mojave Fisheries in different places, so, I have the card right here.
Thank you.
Today, we also had the generator inspection. It's been a year since we installed them by the San Joaquin Valley Air Quality Control Board.
Has it been that long? Wow.
Yeah, it's been a year, so he came up and, everything checked out good. Our record keeping is the way it's supposed to be. You have to keep track of your records, times you run. Now he's gonna, recommend to his office that they put us on there every 3 years for the inspection instead of once a year, because we met all the compliance. We've also been trenching, we got 2 sites done already, trenching to hardwire the generators. Just as time permits, the guys are out trenching. We'll have to make one modification to the existing boxes we have at each motor control site. Right now, we have a box that's about this deep that you twist the 4 wires onto when you have a portable generator. This will have to be a deeper box so we could run conduit up to it and leave the lead screwed on all the time. So it's a hardwired, all you have to do is go out and flip breakers and start stuff, so. We're doing most of the labor for that, and then I'll get P&J to come in and do the final tie-ins on everything, so other than that, what I got. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if we're gonna be out of electricity here
Yeah,
tomorrow?
yeah, we are,
So will we be running generators?
from morning till night. Well, we'll definitely be running the one in the yard. Most of the generators probably won't need to be run because, most of the tanks are gonna stay fine during that amount of time. But if not, we're ready to run them. We have the leads and we have what we need to run, so. Corey's gonna be monitoring that tomorrow. He's gonna start the generator in the yard because he's on call in the morning, and then we'll run it. And then if anything starts getting low, we'll just do that.
Well, the one in the yard doesn't come on automatically?
Oh, and none of our generators come on automatically.
Oh, cause the one I got at my house comes on,
The one for this office right here,
yeah,
it comes on automatic.
okay.
Comes on automatic, it turns off automatic,
Right, right.
and it also starts every week on Thursday to make sure it's running good. So, but you can't do that with the big industrial size
Oh, okay.
generator, so there's too much liability involved when you're talking about that kind of voltage.
Yeah.
The hospitals, they do it, but they have the money to put in the computer controlled stuff, which we don't have, but. Yeah, so we're ready, but, yeah, it's gonna be a long one. I was out of power a few days ago
Yes.
for all day till 6:30 at night, so,
Mhm.
now it's gonna happen again. We'll see what happens
When is that gonna take place?
tomorrow.
Wow,
All day?
all day.
Yeah. till
And that's
8:30 at night.
because they're doing poles or something?
I don't know, let's say
Um,
maintenance. What is maintenance? I don't
Interesting.
know.
I don't know if you even know the answer to this, but I wanted to ask or bring it up that, the other day when we were out, the town was out of power.
Yeah.
Someone texted me and asked me, yeah, you got power down there? Cause I guess they were up in PMC and they just wanna check me. I go, I'm not out of power, but I have solar. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
When a lot of people were talking about being out of power, it was like the lower third of town. Which for some reason, there's been plenty of times we'll be out of power and then we'll look over at my wife's friend's house and her lights are on.
Right.
And then vice versa, when ours are on, theirs is off, so.
Hmm. I
That's
guess
gotta
they're
have
gonna-
something to do with, it's got a different feed coming in from somewhere else than the whole rest of the town does. But it was isolated by my house the other day, it was just the top of East End.
And is
That was
that
a large area.
Edison
That-
shutdown?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, they were replacing 2 poles on East End.
Yeah, and I believe they're gonna be, you think they'd be done, they've replaced every pole in town a couple of times already, but.
Do you have a start time, 8 to 5 or
Yeah, it's like,
9 to 8.
9 to 8.
9 AM to 8 PM?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So,
And how did you get that? Do you get that mailed to you or?
No, they call me,
I get email notifications.
yeah.
Yeah, let's, go ahead and move on if we could.
Yes, please.
Hold on just a moment. We have someone else who joined our, audience here. And I'm wondering if you would like to do the public comments or if you're just hanging out.
I just heard you guys talk about power and solar, and I'm curious, so sit down before you went into your closed session. Oh, thank you, Colton.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go on to item 6B, or 6A, I'm sorry, yes, Joan.
Johnny, do you still have 3 guys working in the field? I knew you had hired somebody recently.
No, that's with hiring somebody recently.
Right, so you still have them.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, 6A, administrative assistance report.
Okay, I have like 3 items I want to cover under financials, so don't forget to talk to me at the end of financials. I did get, these are funny because they come completely out of the blue. So if you remember way back when we applied for the community development block grant,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was kind of quiet,
Yeah.
they never said anything.
Yeah.
Well, we got an email, this came July 9th, and it said, "Good afternoon, Tiffany, I'm Jamal, the planner managing the CDBG project for your district. I wanted to update you on the status of the project. We are currently establishing the funding level for this project and are working to secure as much funding as possible. We anticipate advertising for the project to commence next week, and we are currently completing the environmental consultation portion." So they're moving forward, which is interesting. I will keep you updated on the status of the project as we move forward. Please let me know if you have any questions. Did you get that?
Because we missed the last, because I looked on who got the block grants and we weren't on there.
Yeah, and they have somebody assigned. This is for the replacement of parcel B
Oh,
that we applied for
That's
to the
amazing.
county.
Yeah.
Well,
Replacement of
apparently
what?
they're still working on it. We have a project manager, and he said they're working to secure as much funding as possible for us right now.
That's awesome.
So maybe we'll hear from them again some other time.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
great. So I
So
think we
something's
must just be
happening.
on the new phase of money, like we missed the last phase.
Could be.
Already in the new one, maybe?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a win.
And I don't know how much or.
I think it lags quite a bit, so I think the people that put in, because the stuff I saw that did get funded this year seemed like it was from, at least a year ago. not
Right,
two.
and I think when you apply, it's like
It's slow.
25, 26 fiscal
Yeah.
year, like it's, yeah, in the future, but.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Okay, any questions for our administrative assistant? Okay, then we'll move on to 6B, discussion vote on formal appeal of billing. So in your, board packet, there is a formal appeal of billing that was filled out, this is for the museum. It's not, even though it has, Bonnie Kane's name on it, I believe it's actually for the museum itself.
Yes.
The reason for the appeal is the almost $700 bill they received in July. She doesn't have the exact amount, but the board of directors for the museum were shocked to find no one at the water company watches for potential leaks now that we have the type of system that we have where it's a little easier to see things. So she was suggested we should assign one of our volunteers to watch our daily readings as they're printed on your department's site on the computer. It seems in this very automated life we now live that your system should be able to recognize such. We acknowledge that we should have somehow been aware that we had a bad leak, but again, we're volunteers. I don't know the exact date the meters are read, but we have just received our August bill, which is double our usual amount, as we are guessing it was read a few days before the leak was found. We're requesting that your board might consider forgiving a good portion of the $700 bill. Also, we've requested a copy of the work order that we called in on July 7th, 2025. It was to be done on 7/8 so that we might see what work was done as well as the time it was done. This was due to a problem leak in the line from the street that we found when attempting to repair our bigger problem. So, that's basically the appeal. It was received, the bill date was 6/23/2025. We received this on the 13th of August.
This is an easy one to feel.
Yeah, I'm gonna, first of all, see if there is a motion that anyone is interested in, and then we can have discussion on this. Is anyone interested in doing some sort of motion in regard to this?
Wouldn't it be better for me to explain the process and then you guys could decide?
That
if
would
there's a
help you
motion?
out, that would help me out,
Sure.
thank you.
Okay, we don't, even though they're smart meters, we don't have the ability to have a, check it in the morning and it says, oh, a leak is happening. It don't work that way. The way it works is continuous usage over multiple days,
Right,
which her leak happened and was found before, long before we would have been notified. It's like 14 days it has to have a continuous leak. It's also further compounded by the fact that we would literally have to hire an extra person, at least part-time. Because we have, last I checked, there was over 200 people that were on continuous usage. We've tried keeping up with phone calls. Hey, you have something going on, because we don't know how much or how big. Hey, you have something going on. Nobody cares. The only way to effectively do it is to track it and send a letter, which costs us more money, to every person on that continuous usage. But again, that's after a time frame. We might even be able to narrow it down to a week and then send the letters. But we don't have time with the front desk to be calling all of the people that ignore that, which is why we paid for everybody to log in so they could check their own usage. The museum has had historical issues. I remember at least one other time, but I think a couple more times where they had big leaks that they didn't find. And now since we have the smart meters, now it's our fault that we didn't find it soon enough, but we can't find them any sooner. Yeah.
I have one question, although really we should be doing the questions, I believe, according to Robert's rules, after we have a motion. However, just informational, there isn't a way to set that sooner than 14 days, and that there isn't an adjustment you can set
I
on the
think
smart meters?
even if we did, then we would even have even more. We have such a massive amount of people that have leaks. We can't track them. We can't call all of them people. The front desk can't do it because she would never get the rest of her work done. So we would have to send letters. And it literally, I mean, that's a lot of letters to write and to track. Okay, who did we send the letter to? Okay, we sent them a letter last month. Did we send them another letter? Because at the beginning, we did do that, didn't we? We called everybody. Hey, this is what, you have continuous usage. Well, what am I supposed to do about it? And then one lady says, oh, I had a plumber come out here and he had to tear the walls open and now you have to pay for the damage to my walls. Cause I mean, all kinds of, it was through the roof with complications with that. So all we can do is when I'm having Corey now since this happened, I have Corey check. And if he notices a new one, try to get the front desk to call. But it's not the way people think it is where you get the red button on there. Because a leak, their leak could have been them deciding that they're gonna water a tree and threw the hose out. Me, the other day, I haven't watered all summer. I finally decided to water the trees. I even joked about, last time I did this, I forgot to turn the sprinkler on. Next morning I woke up, come to work, sprinkler on all night long. So, but that happens all the
I'll
time.
be sending you a letter.
Yeah.
so our threshold is continuous use for 2 weeks.
So like I said,
That
even
sounds
if
crazy.
it's, that's what I'm saying. So right now, if it's set at 2 weeks, we have over 200. So the more you shorten it, now you're gonna have 300, 400, 500 that you have to try to call.
I'm sorry, and there isn't a way to say over a certain amount, because there's continuous usage where somebody has a slow leak and it's continuous usage, or there's continuous usage where all of a sudden, like what happened to my neighbor next door, and he was out of town, and luckily I saw it, was that his stuff just blew out and was like running down the street.
To answer your question, no. The
There
short version.
isn't a way to set it for any
No, you can
amount.
change the length of time, I believe, on that, but you cannot set like
Yeah,
quantity.
like
You
quantity.
can't set how much. It could be a toilet. See, a lot of people, their toilets are running for
Float.
continuous. But, I'm looking right now for Neptune for some kind of thing that I could send Corey to go to and pick the brains of people and try to figure out how other people do it, and maybe they could do it. But so far, and Corey every day, he sits down at the computer and tries to figure that out. him and Tiffany worked together at the beginning of this exhaustively. And we don't get the feedback that we would want. So we sent everybody the letter saying, if you want to follow your water usage, do it. And nobody's using it, or very few people are using that.
Mhm.
So I don't know what to do. As far as waiving some of the money, I feel like that's a terrible precedent to set. Because over the years, I know that they're a nonprofit, but their nonprofit for the museum shouldn't affect the rest of the people in the system. And I've requested several times over the years that I have some leeway for if, like I've had people that were seniors that were sick, getting cancer treatment, they had a water leak, they didn't know, hey, can I waive that water? And I was told over the years, you can't do that because everybody, it's part of everybody's. So the neighbor might not want to pay for this other person's water leak. So we have to be fair with everybody. So that's how I've done it ever since. Like there's no way to vary from that, because if I do it for them, then everybody else is gonna say, well, now I want you to do it for me.
Hardship.
I'm a nonprofit. I live on low income social security. I'm not making a profit.
That's not nonprofit.
I know the technical term, but it still amounts to the same thing, to where I don't know how you could do it for one and not others, especially when it's entirely not our fault.
I'm not gonna make a comment yet. Is there anyone else who would like to comment?
I mean, I understand that the museum is only, I mean, they're not open 7 days a week either. But how does that become the town's problem? You know, because Bonnie says that they didn't know.
The town is the owner of the company, and if it's just benefiting one small particular.
No, that's what I'm
group,
saying, right. But I don't think that we should be responsible for checking the water, because this was on their side of the, it wasn't even on the water company side. It wasn't on our piping. It was on their side. And that would mean we would have to go and walk their property to make sure they don't have a leak every day.
Ain't gonna do it.
And I don't think that's our responsibility.
No.
If somebody calls us out and asks us, hey, can you help me? I let the guys walk around the yard with the customer. But just going onto the property without being invited, we don't do. Now the museum's a little different because the gate's open half the time. You know, you can do it, but it's still, it's really not our fault. That's the bottom line. It's not our fault and it's unfortunate, but I don't know how much their bill is, but
Almost $700.
I'm sure any and all private
$93.
donations will be gladly accepted if you feel that strongly about it, but I think Johnny has pretty much set the precedent of not doing it, and I feel like we gotta follow that.
I'm gonna be a dissenting voice, and I obviously am only one board member, so if you guys vote it. But I just feel like when it's a nonprofit that is completely a benefit to this community, it's not a nonprofit that's, I mean, there's nonprofits and there's nonprofits. This is a nonprofit that is a museum about this community, for this community, run by volunteers. And for something like that, or Mountain Memories, or some of the stuff that completely benefits the community, is there just for the community. It's not there for anything else. It's there for our community to have an idea of our history. To me, that's not necessarily setting a precedent for everyone, because it's a really one-off kind of, there's only maybe a couple of three, I don't even know, I'd have to count them, but there are very few entities in town like that are a nonprofit completely here to benefit this community, which is a little different than someone being an individual member of the community who happens to be struggling. So I'm just like, let me
yeah,
just finish.
that's all I got, yeah.
So that's just my, you know, and then you guys can vote however you want to vote, but I just want to be the dissenting voice, because I do think that as a water company that is also completely for this community. I mean, that's the whole reason we exist we're not a for-profit water company either. So, I understand that it can hurt us in the sense that we don't have a lot of money coming in, and then every dollar counts to be able to keep us, afloat here and not be taken over by someone. And at the same time, in this particular case, I feel like it's another, entity that is close to the same sort of, mission that we have.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said about the community. I agree with that. But, I've had people that were very gravely sick and I wasn't allowed to give them a helping hand. So extenuating special circumstances, I don't know that plays into this. Also, they've had leaks before, and I guarantee you this was a big leak for that much water. They didn't say we had this big leak, we're gonna replumb everything, so it's gonna happen again. When your plumbing starts failing like that, it's just like our water system, it's gonna happen again. And because they're already thinking that it's our fault because we didn't notify them when they got the leak. When it happens again, they're gonna come back and want us to waive it again. And it's not our fault, so I don't know how we stop it from being something that's a continuous thing. That's all I'm saying. You guys obviously are gonna vote, but that's my opinion on it.
If we did, and then let me go ahead and have you speak first.
Well, aren't all the churches in town nonprofit?
Oh, yeah, they're a nonprofit too,
Not
for the church, for the town, yeah.
That's what I said, I mean, so what are you gonna do, make a list of 10, 20 entities that we're
But is
gonna
this
not?
single church benefiting the entire, does everyone in the community go to a single church? Everyone in the community benefits from the museum.
No, but the majority of people never go to the museum.
I was
Some
gonna
of
say-
us do, but the majority of the town does not go to the
I was
museum.
gonna say, how does
I
it,
understand what you're saying. I'm just saying if they were splitting hairs when it happened, well, we're not too.
Yeah, but I mean, if we were even gonna do something, I would say that it would have to be written up in a very specific way. So that when people did approach us, they would understand what that reasoning was. Otherwise, yes, everyone will approach us. So I just wanted to be in the same place.
Can I ask a member of the public? Bill Fair, what your take on this is? Just out of curiosity.
I agree with everything you said, and I get it, because I see what happens at work, it goes through the channels of upper management. Because that's the old saying, do for one, do for all. But I feel pretty bad for the museum,
Me too.
because those people put their hearts into it, and they're volunteers.
But at that point, they can say, we had a $700 water bill, does anybody wanna donate to that?
I would feel better about donating money out of my own pocket.
I will. You guys,
I mean, that's how strongly I
I
feel
mean-
about it, just because I don't wanna set a precedent for this.
Yeah, my only concern is I don't want a precedent being set where they say, oh, well, you should have known that our usage was up. And so now it's the water company's fault, so we don't wanna pay. I mean, but that's what will happen.
Well, and that's what's being said now, and then in this letter, and I heard it from other people that was the issue with the libraries, it should be our fault. Now, everybody, like my mother and father-in-law, we turned the water off during a shutdown, turned it back on, their whole hallway got flooded. They turned it into our insurance, their insurance denied them because said, your toilet ought to be working properly, which I agreed with the insurance. And it shouldn't have flooded your hallway, so they didn't get paid any money for the hallway. But if you set that precedent, like if you even act like it's partly our fault, it's not, then anytime anybody has a leak, remember Linda Sheldon, when she was here? Her whole 3 stories flooded. Then it would be our fault because we're not notifying people because we have smart meters. Well, you let my house flood entirely because you didn't tell me, and we just don't have the capability to do that.
Oh, and I mean, we are responsible for things that are side of the water.
Yeah.
And we fix those. And we, repair damage that our water has done. But when it's on the other side, I don't see how we can be responsible I wouldn't expect the board to be responsible for my toilet if I leave it run, you know? And I wind up with or my hose bib was leaking and I had to really get after my husband. But I could see those little increments in my water bill, and so well as when I walk out the door, but you need to inspect your own plumbing, and you need just as you do your electric and your gas and everything else on your property. I mean,
I agree, but that property doesn't belong to any of them. It's a volunteer. board,
I
so-
understand that.
But let's, I think that we should have a motion on the floor to continue discussion. And if we don't have a motion, then I think we should stop the discussion. Does anyone want to make a motion, yay or nay?
Well, we do have to.
Because after you have a motion and the motion's
Yeah.
seconded, there's time for more discussion. Generally,
I'm
that's
trying
the
to figure out
protocol.
how to even put a motion together
Mhm.
in my head. So,
And also, just because you come up with a motion does not mean that's how you're going to vote. You are able to come up with a motion,
Right.
second it, so that there's discussion, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're voting for that motion.
well,
even
I'll
though it seems
move
like you should.
that we take in the, formal appeal of the, museum, for their billing.
So you make a motion,
I make a motion, or I move that I make a motion to take up the appeal for the museum's billing,
to discuss.
to discuss the museum's billing. I mean, I don't know how else to.
You don't wanna put a yay or a nay on that motion? So you make a motion to not. Because then,
So there would still be discussion and then she could still vote whatever way,
yes,
so.
yes, cause
So do you
more,
have to vote initially? You're saying that she should make the motion as a yes or no?
the motion, okay, my understanding, and I could be completely wrong, my understanding of the way this works is that you make a motion, there's a second to the motion, that allows the motion to be on the table for discussion, then we can have a certain length of discussion, and then we vote on the motion. You don't vote on the motion and then have discussion. Yes,
I move that after discussion on the appeal of the museum, we reject their request.
reject the request. Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I'll
Thinking it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Director Gibson, we have a motion by Director Garcia. Now, why don't we take a few more discussion items if there's any additional discussion? Is there additional discussion that we want to do before we vote?
There are two things that I considered with this, because I thought about it since I first heard about it. One, I don't wanna look like the ogres in town, and we just don't care about the museum, because we do, and I go there often with my kids. But again, all the reasons that I voiced, there's bad plumbing that's gonna happen again. It boils down even more so to the fact that it was immediately, automatically made to look like it was our fault that it happened. That's what I don't like. And like we would be accepting liability because our meters that we managed to get a grant for can't work magic and say when somebody's got a leak as opposed to when they have their water on. And that's my issue with it. If it wasn't for that, if it was worded differently, if it was just simply, then maybe I would have a little different opinion, but still, we can't ever open ourselves to that type of precedent or liability in this water system, because people have leaks all the time.
Anyone else?
Well,
wanna
good man,
speak
do you
to
have
the
any-
motion?
Input?
Well, I already said what I said. I mean, I kind of agree with Johnny from the standpoint. My biggest concern is that if we do this, then it opens us up to being liable for everyone's leaks. Because, oh, the usage ran and, oh, you didn't notify us, so it's not my fault. So I don't have to pay this. It's not my problem. It's the water company's problem. And I don't think that that's a responsibility that we need to be opening up.
Hey, Pam, can I ask you a question?
And before we go to this, hold on one second, Pam. It also looks like there's two parts to this request. The first part is to forgive a portion of the bill. The second part is to, do this work order, a copy of the work order and,
The timing.
and
The timing.
and the timing. So I think when we address this, I just noticed that your motion might want to address that you're just talking about the bill and not the second part. of
I don't know what the
request.
work order is for, but I believe that there was a leak on our side. And
Didn't
there
you
was a
find
work
that
order
order
for
that
it.
night?
I
And
didn't find it for her that night. I couldn't find the work order. When she came back, I don't know if she talked to Joyce about it. We just have to, cause Joyce files them. So I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out where she may have.
So can we,
We can give her.
consider
copy
a
of
friendly amendment to the motion that it's only talking about the billing forgiveness and not us working on getting a copy of the work order?
Yes.
Yes.
My motion was only, to, affect the repayment or forgiveness of their, charges, not to, withhold any information regarding the crew or their times that they arrived and left and
Are
did the
you
work.
okay with that
I
friendly
agree with
amendment?
that.
Okay, so now, go ahead, Pam. I
Okay,
think
Pam.
that-
Pam, have you found a way to, I know your system's smaller, but have you found a way to, immediately notice a leak and notify the customers?
No, we just read them monthly. If the customer has a leak on their side, they're responsible. If we recently worked on their line and, put in a partial service line, then that's our responsibility for up to a year. But after that, it's their responsibility,
Thank
if that
you.
makes sense.
Yeah, I know when there was a work order, there was a work order for when they found it as well. But even that isn't, if there's an emergency shut off, if somebody calls and says there's an emergency shut off order, we go right then. We stop whatever we're doing, we go and block them off. So there's no lag time. But if it's just a work order for some type of repair or something else, there's not a time frame. I mean, if we're digging a leak and we have a big old leak, we're not gonna, still go do work orders for what we deem small leaks on our side. So I don't know what she's getting at with the work order thing, but we'll definitely provide her that.
Well, I think what she was getting at is she thought the two tied together.
Yeah, no.
And that she thought she was gonna see them to actually see what they did and
Yes.
time it, and she
She
had
wanted
asked
to
that
see
they'd
exactly.
come at a certain time. She didn't see anybody arrive or leave, and yet when she went out later on that day, I think she was notified that it had been taken care of, whatever it was, and she goes, oh, wow, I was waiting to see them come and leave and interact with them, but.
Yeah.
And so we don't know if they went before she was watching for them, because she said she kept an eye out to interact with them, and it never did see them come or leave, so.
I sort of think that was a little bit of a separate issue in the fact that I think she may want to address that to make sure that maybe we come up with some sort of way to notify the customer of when we'll be there, because I think that's what she didn't feel like she was, notified that we were on.
Yeah,
our
but see,
way.
that's not the way things work around here. The way things work around here is if somebody calls in and they say they have a leak, we go then. If it's our work order that we have, which I suspect it was, that we had a leak on our side, we get to that whenever we want. Sometimes we'll let something go for a month because it doesn't fit into the schedule and it's too small for us to have to contend with that. Generally, when people, I'm not saying her, but generally when this comes up, it's because, oh, well, if it would have been shut off faster, we wouldn't have had so much water leakage. But if she requested a shut off, it would have happened quickly. I'm trying to find out exactly who did it to find out.
I think she just sat there waiting for you to show up because she was under the impression you were showing up that day and just wanted to be notified if you were or were not showing up, is what I understood. But-
Corey's the one that did the work order, and I didn't come in.
So, I mean, it might be something we can look at, it's not saying we're gonna handle it on a certain day, but maybe we just, I know that's always my pet peeve with the other utility companies, is that they'll tell you they're coming, and then sometimes the same thing happens. I sit at my house all day, and they never tell me they're not coming.
But it's been a 16-year process for this whole thing. The real estate agents really killed us years ago. If it's something to do with the customer, the only thing they can request is turn-ons or shut-offs. They can't request us to do something on our side of the line. They can, but I mean, we're not tied to a time frame. Customers, if they want an activation after lock off or for a new house, we always make a schedule and we always keep it. It's 8 to 11 or 12 to 5. That's when, right?
Mhm.
That's when the appointments are, and that's when we go. If somebody makes an appointment, we make the appointment. If somehow or another we forget, Joyce calls and says, hey, remember you have this, and then they take off and they go handle that. It's never just put on the back burner. We have plenty of work orders that we put on the back burner that are our responsibility, is what I'm getting at, so.
So I think, this is my fault since I'm chairing the meeting. I think I need to call a point of order that we need to address the motion, and then we can address this other part.
Kind of waiting for Corey to get here to explain what he did on the work order.
So do we want to adjust the motion and vote on the motion? Is there any other
Yeah.
discussion on the motion?
No.
Okay, then I'll do a roll call. Directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is a nay, and so that motion passes 4-1-0. And the motion passes, so we will not be forgiving that $700 bill. Thank you, and now we could go on to the other, just to finish the other discussion.
Yeah, I just don't know what her, I mean, she's public information, she has the right to the work order, but, I just don't know what she thinks that's gonna do, so. I'm curious what the work order was for, and Corey will be able to tell us if he gets here in time. So if he comes here, maybe we can just back up.
Yeah, okay, let's,
Okay, then, I will move on to 6C, discussion vote on calendaring vacations.
That's another thing, this is, to be quite honest with you, it kind of frustrated me a little bit because, first off, I was basically working like Pam, I was working from the road, I was still running everything from the road, but I told everybody numerous times, because I was so excited that I was going on my vacation, first one in 12 years. I mentioned it during board meetings a lot. I didn't say a specific time, date, because I don't want people knowing that I'm not gonna be home while I'm gone. But from now on, I will simply write on the calendar so Tiffany knows. But again, if anybody would have called me, emailed me, needed me, I'm right there just as if I'm sitting in this office right here, so. I don't know why it even became a topic, but, everybody that works here will vouch for the fact that I was still handling everything from where I was, so. I'm not gonna say, well, I'm gonna be gone July 7th because people do watch the meetings and I don't wanna know my house is empty, and I don't think any of you would want that either.
the only comment that I would make, just so that there's clarity above board, is I just want to make sure there's the issue of taking vacation. So you have a certain amount of time that you can take, that you have to take. And just might want to make sure that we're not like cashing in vacation, because you're able to cash in on, what is it, 1 week a year?
No,
2,
3
no,
weeks,
3 weeks.
3 weeks a year.
Or 3 weeks a year?
And plus, yeah, but to address that, everything Jerry Pearson told me was accomplished. When you're on salary, I don't take 2 weeks, use my 2 weeks vacation unless I don't do nothing. If I could walk away, Jerry says that if you accomplish your work during that week, during that month, that's what salary is. If I take a day off to go to the doctor, I don't have to use time for that because I'm still accomplishing my work and I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The only way I should have to do anything is if I say I'm not picking up my phone I'm out of communication for that 2 weeks.
No, you do not get to go on vacation.
Okay, you
and
want
take
that?
You do not get to
Okay,
go
look.
on vacation.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Let's,
Pam, Pam's
let me
working from
finish.
home right now.
our
Hold
parliamentary,
on, still.
can you please?
Order.
Order?
Order.
Thank you.
You do not get to,
One person at a time.
you do not get to cash in 3 weeks of vacation and then still take those 3 weeks of
First
vacation.
of all, I didn't take 3 weeks and I did not take a vacation in the sense that I was not still running things. I'm not required to go out and physically do things. I'm required to run things and I was still running it. Every day I talked to Corey, I talked to Tiffany, I talked to Joyce, I talked to all of our attorneys. I still
If you're
handle
traveling
everything.
across
Okay.
country, you're on vacation, Johnny.
Let's raise our hands so that we can do this in an orderly way. So that's fine. I think that the actual request had to do with calendaring
And I said I would do that, but
stuff,
now
and
he's got
I
a
think,
further issue.
and
so.
then I understand your, whatever, the issue with someone being able to see that. So I would suggest that that calendar be in a locked office, so that if someone's just walking in, they're not able to
Yeah.
see the
That's,
calendar.
that's not a problem.
So, that's primarily the first part of this. There may be a second part of this, but our discussion tonight is 6C, discussion vote on calendaring vacation. So let's address that. And then if we have some additional issues, I think we need to address those as well, but they just need to be addressed in a different, right now, we don't have that topic to, vote on per se.
I feel like we did address it, so if you would like to make a motion to add onto the agenda to call out Jerry Pearson come in here, because the innuendo that there was some impropriety on how I do things. I haven't been able to get away from my phone for one time for 12 years. And I still answered my phone, I still did emails, I still handled rentals, I still handled everything. So if you have any sense that that's wrong, let's have Jerry Pearson come here and talk to you about it, because that's what you do.
Go ahead, Director Gibson.
The reason this came up, Johnny, and I know that you are a 24/7 FPPUD guy. But the reason it came up is because someone was at the meeting, a member of the public, and they wanted to know when you'd be back from vacation.
Yeah.
And Tiffany didn't know.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew, and that.
Why didn't
you know,
somebody
so
just at
that's
that
why it
point
came up.
call me and say, like I called everybody that's been gone for whatever reason out at a meeting, call me and go, hey, Johnny, when are you gonna be back? Oh, now, oh, okay. I would answer the phone like I did every other phone call. If you check my phone records in my emails, you'll see that I worked as many hours in a day as I did here. Most of the time driving, Heather was driving and I was sitting there doing still my work.
So what I would like to entertain for us to do would be, if we're okay with that, I don't know if we're okay with that, would be to have our attorney actually address that for the difference between a salaried employee and a hourly employee. I think that it's always best coming from the attorney's mouth and
Yeah,
not
I agree.
anywhere
And I'll
else,
tell you when
because
that
we
came
may
up.
not- So, hold on one moment. So I think that if the board's in agreement with that, which costs us a little bit of money, but it's still a good thing to always have that, specific knowledge rather than what we think may be the correct answer or not. So, is that something that someone wants to, I don't think we need a full motion on it, but we can just, ask to put it on the
Yeah,
agenda?
absolutely.
Put it on the agenda.
Okay,
Good idea.
so I think.
And I
that-
will tell you why that came up. The board had me clocking in and out my first few years of being here. Jerry Pearson was here for another thing and he seen me do it. He goes, what are you doing? See, that's against the law to you. That's against the law for them to have you clocking in and out. Salary works where you are required to do your job. And if you're doing your job, you've done your job. You can't be required to clock in and out. You can't be required to do any of that.
We'll get them here and we'll get it all ironed out. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, sounds good.
But like Director Gibson said, nobody in the office seemed to know when you were gonna be back.
Nobody knew
And-
the exact date because I didn't know, because I was hoping my money lasted a little bit longer and I could stay another day, because I simply wanted a stress-free trip. Because it didn't think it mattered, because I was available by phone and email to everybody, so it didn't really matter.
So should
mean,
we have stopped the
Pam is
meeting?
in Oregon and she's still doing her job,
Yeah.
so.
So I
Let's
think
move on.
we've resolved the fact that you're willing to, and we're
Oh, yeah, well,
asking
Jerry
and
Chris should
you're
come, yeah.
willing to put a calendar, to put, dates on a calendar in a back room that people can't just walk in and see when you're gone. And then we'll invite Jerry Pearson to talk about the overall issue.
Yep. You want him to be here or do you want him to
No,
email
I-
the
Or
response?
Zoom.
I
Zoom it.
think he can zoom in and we can ask, that way the board is allowed to ask him
Yep.
questions. He doesn't need to physically
Would
be
it
here.
have to be,
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
would it be a closed session?
I don't, well, I'm not sure, so we need to ask him,
Well,
because
yeah, you'll tell
sometimes it is a closed session, it depends on if we're actually having an issue or not, I mean, it's how we approach it, so I guess we would have to figure that out, but, and I don't know when we're gonna figure that out, but I guess we would need to ask him as well, as to just weigh in on
He
whether.
he
it's a
tells us
closed-
all that stuff. He
Yeah,
tells
whether
us
it's a
what we
closed
need to
session or
know.
not, because normally it's not, I mean, normally like salaries are not closed session, but if it's a disciplinary thing or something like that, then it's
It's
a
not,
closed session.
it's not disciplinary.
Yeah, so,
But yeah, we'll clarify it.
but he can, our attorney can clarify it, so,
Are you-
okay, so we're putting that on the agenda for this next time or the next regular meeting?
Next time we get him. Cause I don't know when he's gonna be. If he's available in 2 weeks, we'll have him in 2 weeks. If he's not available, it'll be when he is
Is the
available.
board okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
It'll
that'll
be
work.
on the agenda.
Okay, so, anything else for 6C, otherwise I'm gonna move on to 6D?
No, I'm gonna move that we go backwards.
Okay.
So Corey can address the,
The 6B.
the 6B.
I second that.
But actually, oh yeah.
Oh, you have to finish
okay.
the motion?
Let's, we'll do it as a motion. So, there's a motion on the floor with a second. Roll call directors, that's to go back to 6B, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director, Nyman,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Schoenberg is an aye, so we're back on 6B, so that Corey can tell us, some stuff. They were asking a question on this appeal of billing about, work order and when, what the exact wording is. We requested a copy of the work order that we called in on, says they called it in on July 7th, 2025, to be done on 7/8, so that we might see what work was done as well as the time it was done. This
For the
was due to a
museum.
problem leak in the line from the street that the museum found when attempting to repair their bigger issue, their bigger leak. So they found that when they were trying to deal with the bigger leak.
So for what I'm asking you is, how did you get a work order to go there to begin with? Did they call?
As far as I know, yeah. I came into the office, there was a work
And
order sitting
what did
there.
the work order say? Because Tiffany couldn't find it when she left.
All the work order said was to investigate. It was a verbal from the front desk that they were challenging the read on their meter. So my only understanding of the situation was go over there and make sure the read is right. So I went over there, verified the read. When I popped the lid, meter coupling on our side was leaking also. So the box full of water, drained the box out, tightened the coupling, verified the read and left. Came back the next day, was told after lunch that the people from the museum were upset that I missed the window I was supposed to meet them, which I was never informed of any window I was supposed to meet them. Wasn't on the work order, wasn't verbally conveyed, nothing. Apparently I was supposed to meet them between 8 and 11 the next day. I went
But you
over
did it the day before?
yeah, but I had already completed the work and verified the read. I mean, and I informed the front desk at that time, there's no longer anything that's our problem. Indicator wasn't turning at the time that I verified the reads. There's really no reason for me to meet anybody. I mean, that's not our standard procedure, is we don't wait around and meet people if we're just verifying a meter read. So did my job and moved on.
So they found it before it was even called in.
Yeah, and they'd already verified the leak. They had already shut off the area of their building or their, whatever it was on their side that was leaking. They had already shut it off and dealt with it, so.
And then you found the leak on our side.
Yeah, which in no way.
Which doesn't
Yeah,
affect the
does
meter
not
at all,
their
so,
bill, But
yeah.
Hey, cool.
Well, do we know, I mean, can we find the work order?
It was a verbal.
Well,
I mean, there was an investigative work order on
She
that.
wanted the handwritten comments that Corey put on the completed work order.
That
Cause
would
we
be
can pull up
front
a
desk
copy of
question.
the printing only, but when he goes out and does the work and handwrites on the completed work order, that's what she wanted to do.
And typically, all that note says is either the read is correct or you write the actual read on there.
Yeah, I just wrote the read and wrote that I had tightened the coupling on our
And
side as well.
that's all that is, so we need to get that, I
So,
guess, and give.
I think we should just try to find that work order and be able to give her a
The
copy
date
of
that
it.
they called, Joyce is
Joyce might know.
The
Thanks,
date,
Cory.
the date that they have
Thank you, Cory.
is July 7/7, 2025 for work to be done on 7/8, 2025, but he said he did it on 7/7, 2025. Okay, are we good moving back, to item 6D?
Yes.
Okay, 6D, discussion vote on Sunbelt rental credit.
Okay, I don't like, typically opening a line of credit. So it's only on here to tell you guys. We had a leak next to a high pressure gas line. It required a hydrovac. I didn't want to pay $4,000 or whatever for the semi to come in. So I ordered from United, where we have a rental for a trailer. Back, it was like $1,700. Do it ourselves. They promised they had one, the night before, about 5 o'clock. They called up and said, well, it turned out we don't have one. And we had the gas company and a standby and everything gonna be there. So next door is Sunbelt, and they had one, so I went ahead and did the
Credit card.
2-minute credit, I did the credit card, but the credit was like a 2-minute thing. I didn't even have to give any references or anything because we're a public utility.
Alright.
So they opened a line of credit for us. So now we have a line of credit at Sunbelt for rentals as well as United, so.
And is that where they put the deposit? That's why we got a credit of $700 and some dollars, because there was a
Initially, they
deposit.
charged for 2 days. It wasn't a deposit per se, it was for 2 days. It's a deposit where they charged for 2 days, but when I got it back in 1 day, they had to return the other day.
Credit you back.
Yeah, so that's all that was.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was no big deal. And now the benefit, the reason I opened the credit line was because then they won't do that in the future. They'll only bill us for what we actually use and not add extra stuff on it.
Yeah, it doesn't cost us to have an account.
And I
Now that
think,
you've gone
no,
through
and I
it.
think you actually get better pricing when you have a line of credit.
You
than
do. You
use a credit
absolutely
card.
do.
So, anyway, I just don't like to open credit without informing you guys that I did it, so I did it.
No, I think we ought to leave it. I think
Nothing
it's
to
a good
vote on,
move.
just a point of
Information.
information.
Yeah,
Point of information, yeah.
good.
Thank you, Johnny. Okay, so, if there's no other questions, I'm gonna move on to item 7. Okay, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices, we, had Joyce cut, checks, and, we'll discuss all that in financials.
Any questions for them? Comment? Okay, state update meeting committee, I just wanted to say that's not happening until next week, but I need to take someone to an appointment, that they can't get anyone else to do, so I asked if Director Kelling could stand in for me, and she agreed, so, she will be doing that committee with Director Nyman
Next week,
next week.
next Thursday.
And she actually was there, not long ago also, so she should have a good handle on
Yes.
what's going on. Okay, so there's no real report on that other than that, and item, quarterly financial committee.
We met, we went through, the quarter financials, and everything looked really, really good. The difference between the merchant fees and the credit card income is, much better. It's only, it's, $1,178 difference between what we're paying out and what we're taking in, so, so the adding the extra percent or whatever it was that we did is definitely,
Balancing it a little bit
Balancing,
more, even though
exactly.
we're still paying more money than what we
we
take
bring in, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're still, but it's not the couple thousands,
Right.
so just wanna, let you know that.
Okay.
Any other questions on anything on item 7? Okay, moving on to item 8, this is the ad hoc committee reports, the planning project committee. No,
We haven't met.
didn't meet. We have all that stuff going on with the, property sale, but there wasn't an actual meeting in regard to that. Easements and deeds committee,
We have not met.
okay, rate study committee,
We're waiting
We're
on,
waiting self-help.
on self-help.
and bond book committee, we have not met yet. So, really not a lot to, share there. Any questions from anyone though, in regard to any of those? Okay, I'm gonna move on to item 9, which is financial business. Discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. This would be Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
evening.
Deborah.
Okay, so we prepared 40 checks out of the revenue operating account, but we caught an error after all the reports had been made. And the check to Young Woolridge was issued in the wrong amount. I apologize and thank you for the catch, Tiffany. So the check on your report, 16942, was voided, and we reissued a check for $2,499.52. So it changes our grand total of disbursements to $65,390.39. The extraordinary disbursements include JPIA payment for $10,472.04, and that was for property renewal. A disbursement to JPIA for employee benefits for $9,007.47. A disbursement to self-help for $13,288.60. A disbursement to Edison for $10,224.68. And those were the extraordinary disbursements.
Thank you, Deborah. Is anyone,
I'll make a motion that we, pay our bills.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
I guess I'll take Garcia since he said, no, I'll take Gibson. Okay, so, motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on the bills before we pay them?
One question. Who signed the other check? If
Oh.
It should
If
be in the
we,
packet.
So we have,
It was 2 signatures under 3,000.
yeah, but we already, did you open it up, Deborah, and take out and void the other check?
I opened it up, I took out the original check and voided it, and there should be a new check with an open envelope ready for you to sign in the packet.
Oh,
It was right on the top.
Want to pass that all over here, please?
Right there on top.
Just pass the whole folder.
Okay, I'm glad I asked, because we need to get it signed then.
Signed.
We're glad you asked.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I just I don't know who signed it, I didn't, so I was just wondering.
It looks like there's 2 checks in here. What are the 2 checks?
Oh, no, those other checks the 3 signature checks.
Oh, so did they not get signed or they?
Well, they got signed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they got signed. I just,
Okay, thank you,
It's
Deborah.
Still in there.
oh, this one
Thank
didn't
you.
get signed at all.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Thank you. So no other
Okay.
questions? So we do have a motion on the, can I use your pen for a second? We do have a motion on the floor, and we had some discussion. I'm gonna do roll call directors. Director Garcia. This is to
pay our
bills.
Yes, I,
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schummer is an aye. That motion passes 5-0-0. We will pay our bills. Are there any other questions for Deborah or any other financial discussion?
Tiffany needs to
Yes,
talk.
Tiffany.
Discussion items when you're done. If
Okay,
everybody else is done.
go
Is that
ahead.
it? Okay. So I was in the bank today talking to Brenda. So this is basically not a discussion item, but are you interested in more information is the question. There's a bank program to help protect against check fraud, where after a check is handwritten by Deborah and sent out and it's, somebody submits it to cash the check, that somebody can access the bank, go in and say, yes, that's a correct check to the correct person in the correct amount, and okays the checks.
Oh, that's too time consuming. Who'd be doing that?
Well, again, this is just, do you want information or is it not really something you want information on? I mean, we don't have a lot of the details, we don't have the cost and all that. But the only thing we do know is somebody would have to log in every day to check off the checks.
That would mean the treasurer would have to log in every day.
Monday through Friday.
Treasurer or someone we assign to do that.
So, I mean, it's not the decision to do it or not, because we don't, it's just, do you want her to give more
Come give us
information about the
information.
program, or do you want to just kind of let it go?
I have a quick question. How many handwritten checks, we try to avoid those?
No, not handwritten, I mean,
Every check,
every check that goes out.
every check that we send out, every single one of those,
So we
somebody
did
would have to go in
40
and
today,
okay.
and somebody would have to okay it. Now, if somebody didn't go in and okay it, it would be paid. So for example, if somebody forgot one day or whatever, it's not like the check would go unpaid. They would automatically pay it if you don't go in there and approve it, but I guess there's other companies that have issues with their checks getting stolen, with checks that are, people
We
are
don't have that
copying
problem, do we?
duplicated. We haven't. But it's
Haven't
just a
thus
second,
far,
it's another
but
protection against that.
we
So
did have an issue with this when we had handwritten checks, which we have had periodically, but not very often. And we've tried to avoid them at all costs because we want Deborah to be able, that's why now what happens is she goes ahead and puts it in and we walk around the check to be
Yeah,
signed.
with Linda,
because
we had a lot more handwritten checks.
Yeah, and I don't think we have, as, the
Not
issue
so
that we
much.
maybe had a few years back.
So it's just a layer of protection. If you want to learn more about it, we can have an item. If you'd rather just pass, we can move on and. So she offered it, just as a,
Did the bank approach us about it?
well, I was in there making a deposit and then she was like, hey, by the way, we got this program. Are you interested?
No.
What,
Wow.
I have a question. Does the program cost us anything?
Yes.
It will cost.
Yeah.
We don't know how
We're,
much.
we're gonna be doing the bank's
Work
job
for them.
and paying them so we can do their job.
Yeah, I don't think we need that.
If it's a pass, it's a pass, but she wanted to offer it.
So it
Any more
sounds like,
discussion amongst the directors?
yeah, it sounds like the board is not interested at this
Are
point.
you? I don't see a benefit.
I don't know what it costs. I don't, yeah, I
Okay,
think,
well, we can have her come in and talk to us about it.
but I don't know how helpful it's going to be because we have all this checks and balances and we have not only do we have signatures, 2 signatures, sometimes 3 signatures on a bigger check. We do everything at the meeting. We have a committee that checks stuff and then we have a quarterly committee that rechecks stuff. So
And the bank is
I-
responsible if,
and the bank is
if
responsible
a
for
check
fraud.
goes out and somebody steals a check that's out and they
They
forge it,
They
they
forge
forge it, the
They're
bank is
sure.
responsible for it. We're not responsible for that.
Right.
I think it's a little more complicated than that, but I'm not gonna give you the laws. But, it's not as easy and cut and dry.
then maybe we should just hear what she has to
Yeah.
say, but I
We
don't.
can
Won't
hear,
cost us
just-
anything.
Yeah, you can say, this isn't the vote, this is, do you wanna take the time to hear about it?
Sure.
Yeah, we can hear about it. I'd be open to hear
Maybe
about
there's
it.
some hidden benefits that we don't know about.
Right. So that
I
would go
mean,
on the
so it's
agenda
just-
for the next regular meeting.
Yeah,
Or,
next month.
yeah, depending when we get the information and when,
Right.
if she wants to present it or just give
Mhm.
paperwork, so. And then, let me write it down, and then I'll ask my other question.
We going for a closed session today?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so next question. So in the whole process of we're changing our emails. I believe at some point, and there's no rush because we're still like one step at a time on the new emails, need to give your new emails to the bank for bank access and stuff like that, right? When the time comes and everybody's happy and comfortable with using their email, all we have to do is walk into the bank. And then Brenda said she could call and they could change the email. You would keep your password, the passwords wouldn't change, but you'd get your new email address in there for when you're ready. But she did say before you do that, you may want to review your users who have bank access. And if you are happy with everybody who has bank access, you can leave it alone. If you want to change or remove anybody, do it before you do the email change. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Right now, the users with bank access are, and I want Johnny to be here because I don't.
Right here.
Oh, so Johnny is a user with bank access. Sometimes you don't want to be, but, so Johnny's on there, Becky's on there, all the boards on there. Every single board member has bank access, Johnny and Deborah. So if you're happy, great. If you want anybody
I thought I
removed,
had Joyce on there
Do
as
it now.
able to look at,
she does not have bank access.
so she never got put on there, but we used to have the front desk able to look only to view.
Yeah, read on.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go down that road.
Okay.
Typically,
not
when
on there
something like
now,
that
so.
comes up, it requires Tiffany's assistance anyway, and then she does it.
Okay.
So again, if you want to keep everybody as is,
Are you on
fine.
it?
No. So like Johnny, Deborah, and then the 5 boards.
But Johnny only has, you only have you. right?
No, Johnny can do a stop payment.
Stop payment.
And Johnny can can view and print everything. And I think that's it. He
I haven't
can't
logged
write.
in 5 years.
Yeah.
She said 10. She said like 10 years.
10 years, because, and the
Yeah.
reason being,
Because we usually,
the reason being is if I have an issue, I talk to,
Deborah.
I would talk to,
A board member.
Somebody.
Right.
Right.
talk to somebody. So anyway, that's why I don't log in.
And a lot of the other directors don't log in either, but it's just that you have the ability to log in should you choose to log in. Most of the only people that have the ability to change stuff are the admins, which is currently Nyman and myself. And, well, you could do transfers and everything, but you
Right.
can't change people's passwords
Right.
and stuff like that.
No.
So we can't do.
You two are the only
Or the
administrators.
administrator.
Or the
As a point of
admins.
information, because of my credit card, in my personal banking app, I have access to my personal credit card information. I mean, my work credit card in my personal email,
Yeah,
because
that's crazy.
they will not take it off because it's based on your social security number. So I could go on my banking app and I could see all the purchases, which has worked out before. If I see something, I could check it. But just so you know, I do view that when necessary. Can't do anything with it other than that, but I
And
can see it.
the other reason we're all 5 board members are on is because we switch places,
Rotation.
which is coming up in January.
Well,
So-
and to just be able to double check,
Check.
because there's been issues where people feel like they're not getting all the information. You can go on yourself and look,
Right.
if you feel like you're not getting the information you'd like to be getting.
Yeah, so if we're happy with the users as is,
Mhm.
if you want to make any
know.
changes, just make any changes before we swap emails. is what she said.
So we do have to change them.
Well, if you're.
Well, I mean,
swapping
because we
emails,
talked about
then
that, yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
But again, there's no
well, they
rush.
need to
We're
give
move
you,
on.
doing it as we can.
but you
so.
gotta get it working on your phone first before you can swap your email.
Well, that's what I was like, that's what I worked with Tiffany, because I said, I
which
need
don't know.
through the bank.
So I would suggest that we have both emails for a few months, so that, so that we don't need to change the banking information immediately. And so that people can get used to looking on Outlook, because it's like a little wrap your head around checking a new place, making
Yes.
sure that it's on every phone or every whatever device, your computer or whatever. So Yeah, I just think, you know, as long as we take a little bit of time and then once we should probably have a issue discussion, so it should probably be on the agenda so that we can make sure that everyone is okay at that point and then they could make the changes.
Yeah, we all gotta acclimate, but
Is it on the agenda? It is, right?
What?
for, not,
For, the emails?
No,
No, so maybe
nothing
just
email
put that just
specific.
so that we can bring it up at the meeting and make sure people are okay and we're ready
Next
to
month.
completely move on.
yeah, I would do you want
Maybe 2
September?
months, yeah, I would do
Yes,
September or October, maybe October,
yeah, we'll get Jerry squared away.
October meeting?
Thank you.
the regular meeting, the first meeting. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Cause it now gives people time to ramp up to, you know, you're getting your email on both, hopefully.
Do you need me for that discussion?
Oh, yeah.
Why,
Then,
you're not gonna be here in October for the
Yeah.
regular meeting? Probably do need you.
so either the last one in September, we can do
Yeah,
like a
let's-
check-in. and
let's
the
do the
second
last
in
meeting in
September.
Are you
and
guys
then
okay with
go
that?
from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so second meeting in
Okay, that's okay.
September.
Okay, did we pay our bills? Did we?
We
vote?
we did vote to pay our bills.
Okay, so then we're done with Deborah?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're done with me. Thank you. Have a good
Nice
evening.
weekend.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna move on to our closed session.
Lockdown.
So I'm going to make the oral announcement prior to closed session. Government Code 54957.7A, a representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. Item 10, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1, Fraser Park Public Utility District versus CNC Elite Properties LLC et al., Curtin County Superior Court, case number BCV-24-100199. And item 11, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, properties being discussed, 256-070-54, 256-070-55, and 256-520-13. Agency negotiators are Lisa Schomergan, Brahma Nyman, and D. Jasper. The negotiating parties are Jeff French and Emily Wainwright. Under negotiation is the price in terms of payment. Actually, do we need to change that? Because it's no longer the price in terms of payment, it's the final deed and all of that, like we're
Well, there's
not,
no more negotiation. I think it would be an open session item.
yeah, so do we need to take this off?
We can move it, well, yeah, it would just.
Is
be
there a
under-
reason, Dee, to, because, well, we do still have negotiation, we still have the one other item that we need to pay for, which is the property line, the adjustment, whatever that's
Right.
called, so I think we should leave it on for now, because that has not been fully discussed.
Okay.
But yeah, so never mind, I answered my own question, Dee, but I think, you know, soon, once we figure that out, that we should be able to pull this off and just be
Okay.
completely open.
We go
So,
into closed session.
so we are going to go into the closed session. The time is 5:28. We're going to ask our community members and others to exit for a moment. We will come get you when we are done. Hopefully it won't be a very long session. And so yes, we're going to go into closed session.
Need to shut that door.
The office is closed.
Yeah, but the office door, people,
I mean,
so they
I'll
can't,
get it, I'll get it.
I don't think anybody's in.
it's just better to do.
Well, shouldn't we lock the front, just lock the front door?
Yeah.
The lockdown.
I would just lock the front door so somebody doesn't walk in and whatever, not know what's going on. You can reopen it as soon as we're done with the closed session.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Then we don't have to worry about doors being open.
Nice.
Okay, so I believe everyone is back. I'm gonna make the oral announcement following
Back, Jack.
closed session. Government Code 54957.1A, the legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. I forgot to say the time back in 5:43, so we are back in open session from closed session. I made the oral announcement. I'm going to announce that there were no actions taken during the closed session. It was informational only. And we are now in open session, starting with item 12. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake in the Wood Consolidation Planning Project 12A. Discussion vote review of the project timeline and budget. Anything we need to discuss on the project timeline and budget? Any new items from Ruben or anyone else?
As you know, Ruben has been on vacation. Today was his first day back. I had a telephone call with him this morning because I wanted to kind of catch up with where the state is. And one thing he mentioned to me was that they hadn't received the signed funding agreement yet for the consolidation project. And he said, just bring that up to the board. It hasn't been, at least it hasn't reached his.
Lisa did it online.
Yeah,
I did it a while ago,
Months ago.
like right on the due date.
On the due date.
so I don't know
Due date.
what's going on. I did that online, and also remember that was the one we had the issue with, so we had a paper copy, and then I came back and actually signed a digital copy as well. So there were 2 copies, both before the due date, one physical and one digital, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, it's her first day back. And so I'm sure that, it'll show up.
But that was before he left.
I'll let him know that and he'll find it.
So there should somewhere floating is we sent in the physical copy as well.
No,
right?
they didn't want the physical. They
Oh.
can't use the physical, but if you remember, we were on the phone with the state guy.
Right.
And then he was resending the link, and then you got the link on your phone.
I
signed
had
it,
to
and
sign
completed
it on my phone, yes.
Yeah, so
I
it
actually signed it, through a link that they sent me that I did not here at the water company.
Hmm.
And I signed it. I have somewhere an acknowledgement that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need to get that acknowledgement.
It's,
Just a minor detail, but I'll check it out with Ruben tomorrow.
But
Give
we
him-
want to make sure that we have an acknowledgement, because if we didn't, we need to.
well, I can't pull up FPPUD on this phone, but I will, I did sign it.
Yeah, I think that it just hasn't gotten to Ruben's hands because Tiffany did send me that, or Lisa or Tiffany sent me that acknowledgement of signature, so.
I believe I sent a copy when I signed it
perfect.
out. Yeah,
to Carlos. Carlos has.
yeah. And I said something to, I think you and Carlos that said that I had signed it, or to Ruben too, I don't even remember.
Mhm.
Okay, so we need to, follow up on that. I don't know if you can keep that on your radar, Tiffany, and make sure, and Carlos, and let me know if there's some issue, but it's definitely been signed.
Hmm.
So, anything else on 12A?
No, nothing for me.
Okay, 12B, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of well 8. We are still waiting for a court date in October, and nothing else has changed on that. We aren't certain as to whether or not CNC have an attorney, but that is in the works, and that's in the court's hands. Correct?
That's correct. I do have some additional information though, Lisa. And this is fresh off, this is something that happened this morning, actually. They had a meeting, Ruben had a meeting, staff meeting this morning with his his superiors. And they have retitled the project. They're putting, and this is something that's kind of been in the works a little bit. Well 8 and the pipeline replacement project. They're putting them together, gonna finance them both. And they may have financing for them as early as the last quarter of this year or the first quarter of next year. So they have moved it ahead. Ruben, thanks to Ruben, you know,
All right.
that young man has done us really, he's really pushed for us. And so he told me that this morning. He said, tell the board, you know, at the meeting that this is going to be financed, both well 8 and the pipeline replacement project as one grant under the expedited drinking water grant program. So that's a really good news.
I do believe that we need to change our agenda
That's
to
right.
move well 8 over to the pipeline, you know, make them one agenda item.
Mhm.
Not no longer under, because that's separate financing, so that will be taken out of the Fraser Park Lake of the Wood consolidation planning projects and put in its own category.
Category. Yep.
That's correct.
That is really good news.
That's awesome.
Bang.
Yeah, thanks to Ruben.
Okay. Very cool. Anyone have any other comments, questions, or anything on that?
Just grateful.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thankful and grateful.
Okay, then 12C, discussion vote on acquisition development of well number 9 and additional booster tank site properties, certificate of compliance, lot line adjustment, and purchase and sales agreement. So it was discussed a little bit in closed session, but actually, as far as the open session goes, we do have the title in front of us. So the board members have received that
For one part.
for one of the properties. And we need the other one, and then also, we're going to be looking at that to see if there are any issues with easements. And we are also going to, hire Tom, Dodson and Associates again to look at a history of the properties to make sure the properties are in escrow right now. That's all been signed and moving forward, but and there's money in the escrow account, which we did today. Right, those checks went out, or we did those earlier.
Oh, they went out last week.
Checks already
Oh, yeah.
went out last week. Okay,
So
so,
mail, baby.
yeah, so that's in the process, but what we do need to do is get an okay to hire Tom Dodson and Associates to look at the history of the properties to make sure that there's nothing that would affect us that's happened on those properties previously, like some sort of mining operation, or who knows, spilled chemicals, I don't know, whatever else could possibly go wrong on there's no nothing built on the properties themselves, but
Vacant land.
yeah, so I think at this time we would need to entertain a motion from the board to allow the ad hoc, because we have a very limited, it's a 60-day escrow and we're already in escrow. So we need to be able to okay an amount to pay. Once we have the amount that Tom Dodson is going to charge for this, we need the ad hoc to be able to okay that and let him move forward with whatever he needs to do so that we can have it done before the end of escrow. So if someone wanna,
I'll move that, we approve an amount, I don't even,
We don't know yet.
Tom Dodson's work.
Tom Dodson's work on the history of the two properties, or 3 properties actually, for us to continue purchasing these properties.
so if that comes up in ad hoc because it's approved here, you're okay with the ad hoc
Yeah,
saying
because
go ahead?
whatever that price is gonna be,
Okay,
is gonna have to be.
is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion second. Any questions, issues that need to come up before we vote? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Abstain.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
And I'm on the ad hoc as well, so I guess I'll abstain, so that motion passes 3-0-0 with, I'm sorry, 3-0-2 abstentions, and that motion passes. So the ad hoc, if necessary, will, give the okay for, D to let Tom Dodson go ahead, once we hear the price. Anything else on that right now? We do not, we're holding off, and that'll also, the negotiation will happen in closed session on the certificate of compliance lot line adjustment. That hasn't moved forward, but everything else has moved forward. Anything else on that before I move on? Okay, 12D, discussion vote on LAFCO work. Anything new on LAFCO?
I have a communication into Bud Rice, and to try to catch up with where they are. The last time I talked to him, which is probably about a month ago, he said they were just swamped. And so they were trying to get through what they had already committed to get to ours. And so it's on their plate, but I think it's, kind of on the backside of the mashed potatoes right now. But anyway, I'm going to check. I've already got a communication into Benton, Bud, and we'll see where we are.
Okay, any questions, comments?
E.
All right, E it is, which is the memorandum of understanding. I don't believe we're actually have anything new on that. Is there anything that Lake of the Woods has, or anything that an individual director, any comments or concerns? We have this on here just in case something comes up.
Lake of the Woods submitted a request for documents today.
Okay, so there's a document request, and that is for what documents?
Oh, there's a whole list I gave to Johnny,
Okay.
some of which he's got, some he doesn't.
That's gonna be, she wants all the loan information and all that stuff, so. I mean, we have drawers full of that in there, right?
Yeah, books. Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be quite extensive. Thousands of copies, I'm assuming.
Well, Johnny, we can talk about it, because I don't need thousands of copies, so.
Yeah, if you wanna
Simplify
get, if
that
you wanna get with
real
me next
easy.
week, we'll show you the drawers and. Then we can narrow it down to whatever you want,
We can.
and you can
simplify
browse
it.
through anything you want, so.
Yeah, no, we can simplify that real quick.
Yeah, just give me, whatever day works good for you next week, and we'll do it. Move on.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on from that. Item 12F is Lake of the Woods. If you wanna give us a report on the projects, and anything else you need to let us know.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so our $5 million grant is pretty much wrapping up. It won't be on our agenda anymore. We've been paid for our final claim and all the checks have gone out, and I should be closing that account next board meeting. We're, as far as the next $5 million grant, we're working with DFA, the financial department, for requested items. And I think we're in a similar situation as Ruben is with you guys. He's hoping to get us on the docket before the end of the year, early beginning of January. So I'm getting all the items that the financial department's requesting. Well, number 4, no results this month yet. And samples for July for our blending station were 2.8 for nitrates and 1.2 for fluoride. Our wells have gone down from the month before. They've dropped 3.5 to 0.2 feet. They've gone up since January of 23, 5 feet and 31 feet. So somewhere in that range. And then in 2024, wells have gone down from 6.5 up to 1 feet. And then we've also completed our purchase of the property around our blending station.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
Mhm.
Any questions, guys?
Good job.
Great, thank you.
Oh, I did have one question for Johnny.
Just went to the restroom, I believe.
Okay. All right, it was just about the chromium, the hexavant chromium, if it was in all the wells or just the one well?
We did not actually, he just had not done the sampling, so he did the sampling late and it wasn't in any, I believe.
wasn't
there-
in-
It was
It wasn't in anything.
negligible.
Oh, it wasn't.
He
Oh,
just-
I'm so sorry. I
No,
misunderstood.
he just didn't realize he needed to do that
So
sample.
he had to send a letter out to,
Oh, okay.
to all, everybody saying that he missed
It's the
sampling.
date.
Okay.
But
So
he-
when he
but-
said
but-
failed, I misunderstood it. He failed to submit the report. I get it. That makes sense. Okay,
I
thank you,
don't
guys.
know the date, but when he did submit it, here he comes, but,
Okay.
Johnny, there was nothing found
In
on
that,
the
helium,
sampling.
whatever.
Chromium,
Hexavalent?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Us either. I just misheard it. So thank you for clarifying.
People are
Thank you.
misreading the letter too, because I had somebody,
Oh, it's all over Facebook.
That always happens. The chromium
That's all.
hexavalent came in at 0.2, and the maximum contaminant level is 10.0.
oh, perfect.
So as usual, the misinformation machine of Fraser Park is at
Well,
work.
well oiled.
Don't you love those warriors?
Yes.
Or they're trying to send them over, but
Johnny's going to, look at,
8.70
8,
for nitrates.
That's at well 5?
well, 5, yeah,
Yeah.
What was the nitrate?
8.
8.7.
Just a second, I'll forward you the results from the lab.
All right, thanks, Johnny.
Both
All right, did you guys
God
have any
bless
questions? Any
Yeah.
other questions?
God bless you.
I think we're done.
No, I don't believe there are other questions, Pat.
No.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Just a lot of sneezing. Little allergy issue. Okay, so 12, hopefully, 12G. Moving on, discussion vote, thank you so much. Discussion vote on claims and payouts. That is not happening yet. That is gonna be on the state, update meeting next week. Unless there's anything Carlos needs to tell us.
No, nothing.
Okay,
Beautiful.
You just have to submit
13.
all the back ones, once they acknowledge that we signed. the
right, but we
agreement.
can't do that until we have the
Well,
acknowledgement that we have the
I-
funding agreement.
I'm probably not gonna submit it until until they send the letter saying, this
Everything's
agreement is executed and so forth.
Right.
Right, because we have an email to that, but not a final after the
Right.
signature, so. Okay, so, moving on, unless there's anything else, I'm gonna move on to 13. Okay, discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement project, emergency well supply project. This is all done, isn't it? 13A?
There was an email that came from Ruben today that said, he was asking Johnny for the completion. That
Oh,
they-
we have to
they-
sign
they-
that.
That they can't do the final claims and payout.
I think Kurt's already sent it to him. I believe.
Can you check on that, Dee?
Well,
Curtis sent it off
They
at
came
1:40. Curtis sent it off at about 1:50 this afternoon, so it has been submitted.
talk to him.
Okay, so that has been sent, and once that's acknowledged, then I guess we can close this all out. So right now, there should be no other claims and payouts, though.
No,
No,
No.
it's just on here because we haven't.
Because there
Right.
isn't the final sign off, yes.
right,
Okay.
and so they said they can't make the final claims that we've put in until they get that completion thing.
Okay, so we're just waiting on that, and that is in the works. Any questions on that? Otherwise, 13B, the bridge loan.
We paid back today, the check is going out to Self-Help Enterprises to pay back the bridge loan, and then that bridge loan will be closed out.
Okay, any questions on that? All right, moving on to 14, and this is where we'll need to change this on the agenda. Discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. So this is now gonna be a combined project with a different funding source. And that is, and that's in the works, so it'll be the pipeline and well 8. And, we have, is there anything else currently on the engineering and design that needs to be addressed?
Not at this time,
14A?
Lisa.
Just,
Yeah,
Okay, and then we've got quite a bit also on well 8 already submitted, so once these are put together as a new agenda item, we can discuss that again, but I think
But,
we've
but on the
already.
pipeline, did, Jesse approve? Because you guys resent him everything again?
Yeah, it was
Did he-
still sitting with Jesse.
Is it still sitting with
No,
Jesse?
no, I think that's already been approved and it's just really working its way up the administrative chain at water boards. Carlos, is that your understanding as well?
I have to check because I know I got a letter. I know I got a letter of approval by DDW for final plans and specs, but I don't know if it's for this project or for another one. So I'd have to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's ours. I sure hope that's ours. And,
Yeah, cause
So
well,
really-
I mean, we'll have to bring it up next week in the meeting
The,
to make sure, but.
according to Ruben this morning, really what they're doing right now is the environmental review for the pipeline replacement project. So that's underway in staff right now. And I think there was some questions on financial that the district already addressed. I think that they have that information. And then on well 8, they're also they're doing the environmental review on well 8 as well. So most of the, the package that we submitted 2 years ago is this guy. And that was, when we made the application for the expedited drinking water funding. So they have all of the information. We have the design in there and all, but when we get, when they say, okay, we want you guys to finish the design up of well 8, then we'll go ahead and get that done. Really, what it involves is making some minor changes to the plans and then just putting the spec package together, which is pretty normal for us. So that'll happen pretty quick. And then we'll submit that to Jesse and hopefully he'll get to that and approve it. He sees a lot of our stuff. So I think from the standpoint of well design, he's reviewed a lot of ours. So nothing in there is, is new to Jesse at all.
Okay, quick thing, we need the exact name of the project now as it is in the application when it is combined. I think that's important because we always have some issues with that, so we need the exact naming. And we also, is there anything else, because the project application now is combined, so is there anything else that we need, Carlos, on this combined project? I guess we'll know next week, right?
Yeah,
I guess
we'll have to talk to Ruben about that because we will have to figure out a name because it's kind of tricky in this situation because the name has to match the environmental docs, it has to match everything, so we'll have to get advice from Ruben as to what we're gonna do.
As to what the new name is.
He gave me the name this morning, but I'm gonna state it, but we better wait until we get to the state meeting. But quote unquote, well 8 and pipeline replacement project. So that was what he gave me this morning. He said that's the official name. But again,
Does that mean we're gonna have to refile Sequas with the new name?
No,
Because
well, I don't think so because they're doing the environmental review right now. So, unless
I
they,
guess we should ask that question next week.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, there's just some important things, so anything that has to do with this project, if you two could ask just make sure all of that's hammered out so that we make sure that we don't need to turn in anything new or any of that.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Oh, go ahead, Dee.
I had, if we could go back to the LAFCO, the LAFCO agenda item just for a second. I got one comment.
Okay, is the board okay with going back to 12D?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna entertain a motion. Let's just go backwards to
Let's do it.
12D.
I just got an email from Bud and he said, we're scheduled for September 17th hearing. September 17th for our SOI.
September 17th, mark your calendars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Hallelujah.
Moving ahead.
Put that in here.
To attend that hearing.
Yes, LAFCO.
But who attends that?
Anybody that wants to, and anybody can. It's an open public meeting. I know I'll be there. I'm sure Johnny will be there. And, I don't think there's any opposition. I haven't heard of any at this point in time. But, as they, LAFCO, the other thing that Bud included in his email was they are right in the midst of making the review right now. So they've moved us ahead, or they've gotten everything out of the way. I don't know which. But so if anything comes up, we'll address it right away.
Sounds like we're cooking with fire on a couple things.
Finally.
Yeah. Okay, good to hear. Okay, so back to, unless there's anything else, I'm gonna go back to the future now, and go on to 15. Anything else before I move on to 15?
Nope.
Okay, no. 15, discussion vote on federal and state regulations for PFAS, however you say it, PFAS, for Fraser Park and Lake of the Woods. 15A, testing and monitoring. Any new items for testing and monitoring?
Where's Johnny?
Yeah, where did Johnny go?
Right here.
Oh,
When do we have to retest again
For
for the PFAS?
PFAS, it's scheduled, I forget when it's set up with the lab, they're gonna send it to me, I can find out exactly what date that is if you want. But it's FGL, I tell them what's set up, the rotation, and they send me the bottles and we sample.
okay, because we're trying to potentially get funding for some of this stuff, so,
Funding
So-
for PFAS?
Uh-huh.
yes, so that's so we made a new agenda item, so 15A is testing and monitoring. 15B is remediation, we don't know what the remediation is at this point, correct?
No.
They haven't said that yet, the state?
What we have been addressing. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, we've been addressing some of those for some other clients, and it's granular activated carbon is what they're using for the mitigation. Hopefully we don't have it at a concentration that'll kick that in, but it's a very simple treatment, but expensive.
I believe we did have,
That's what the
Yeah.
state said
Okay,
at our last state meeting.
You guys are gonna have to give me a little more time than just right during the board meeting where I'll look it up and see exactly what it is, but it's not that we have to remediate it at this point. We're under the levels, but they're gonna set the level.
right, we're waiting for
They're
an
gonna set the
official.
level of PFAS and I don't
It's a
think,
federal.
I don't think we're gonna exceed that, but if we do, then we'll know down the road, but
Oh,
it's
so,
not anything set in stone right now that we have to do.
so basically we just tested for it, but we don't.
At the state level.
But we don't know if we're over for this.
Yeah, they haven't set an MCL, they haven't said
Okay.
anything. They're still trying to figure it out. They're like, oh, we can test for that. Let's do it. Oh, but then what?
Yeah.
Then what do we do?
So that's why we have this on the
Okay.
agenda now, it's
All
just an item moving forward.
Okay, so
I
we
think-
can just move
Joan,
on.
you had a question?
Well, you've got on here that it's Lake of the Woods also, so our initial PFAS testing came in with the PFOA had an MCL of 3.0, and we originally came in at 3.1. We've done 3 quarterly testings since then. They've all come in way below that. We have 1 more quarterly testing to do. And then theoretically, we're off the hook, I believe, until we have to do annual testing.
And we have not started quarterly testing yet, so we will
Right,
probably
you
have to
came in
start
at
quarterly
6.7,
testing. Yes. So, that's where we're at on that. No issues with remediation at the moment because we don't know what the levels are going to be yet. And 15C potential funding, we're just keeping our, ears and eyes open, right? So, and Carlos, you're doing the same thing at self-help, trying to see if there's anything that comes up in regard to grants for
Yeah, they-
if we need to do any of
They
this.
mentioned that there might be some funding here down the road for treatment and stuff. So as soon as if we hear anything else, we'll let you know.
Okay, so, moving on,
Can
item
I
6.
clarify
Yes,
one thing?
Tiffany.
D, I honestly, I don't remember if you were on the meeting yet when I stated, but I wanted you to know that, for the tank replacement, the water tank replacement we were trying to do, right now, the county notified us that they're currently establishing the funding level that they're gonna give us, and they're working to secure the funding right now.
Yeah, thank you for that
So-
information. That's good news. Because
Yeah.
they're needed. So that's great. Yeah, I think,
Just so that you know to have it, eventually we will be getting some funding for
That
that.
was for
But
parcel B.
that's- Yeah,
Yeah, for parcel B tank.
but we're out of order.
I just wanted to make sure he knew.
My hope with that is they come up with all the money that we need.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that we don't know.
Because if they don't, then there's always a time limit on how long you have to spend the money.
right.
Okay, so right now we have a point of order because we are not on this item on the agenda. There is no item, so I think on the agenda, we need to make sure that this is back on the agenda so that we can discuss it each time to see where we're at with.
Yeah, we may
With
not hear for a
funding.
while, but I can. put it
It's
back on.
okay, but we can put it on the agenda, and if we haven't heard anything, we'll just say we haven't heard anything. Okay. So that's gonna be a new agenda item. Item 16, discussion vote on the rate study.
We haven't heard anything.
Okay,
That's September.
We will have to start something soon. So either I'm gonna talk to Jeffrey this next week coming up and see what date he wants to meet with you guys.
Okay, just let me and Terry know.
okay,
Next,
thank you. Do we want to recess?
no.
Okay,
Joan,
yes,
And me, I asked to be able to sit in on that meeting too. So whenever you guys get with Jeffrey, just holler.
on the rate study.
Why?
Well, it's a meeting that a public can sit on, so that's fine. And that is the rate study is a standing, it's not an ad hoc, correct?
it's not a standing, it's an ad.
It's an
Ad hoc.
It's an ad
Ad
hoc.
hoc.
Okay. All right, so, moving on, so, you can I guess Tiffany would let Joan
Well,
know
she's not-
that.
Thank you, Dee. You can go enjoy your evening if
She's
you
on the
like,
ad hoc
or you
committee.
can stick with us. It's up to you.
Brahma and me,
let me see. I may,
Just we have,
I may duck out, but if
you
so,
wanna be on the race day?
no, I don't.
Oh, you wanna come?
No,
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
yeah. We can still only have 2
Okay.
board members on there.
Can we
Okay,
move on?
moving, yes, we can. Item 17. Review and approve meeting minutes for 7/8/2025 AP Standing Committee, 7/10/2025 regular meetings, 7/22/2025 AP Standing Committee, 7/24/2025 regular state planning and project meeting, and 7/29/2025 quarterly financial standing committee. I'll entertain a motion.
And I think I'm not needed anymore, so I'm gonna,
Q and D are not, no longer needed.
alrighty, we'll
Rather
talk to you guys next week.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Carlos.
Bye.
I move that we approve the minutes for 7/8/2025, the AP Standing Committee, right? The 7/10/2025, the regular meeting, the 7/22/2025 AP Standing Committee, the 7/24/2025 regular state planning meeting, and the project meeting, and the minutes for 7/29/2025 quarterly financial standing committee. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any of the additional amendments for typos or other errors that may not have been caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, we have a motion second. Any discussion on any of the minutes? Okay, then we are going to approve them in one big swoop. So I will,
Roll
do a
call.
roll call of directors. Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
You guys are a hard audience. Director Gibson.
Abstain.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg, I will vote aye, so that passes 4-0, 1 abstention. Okay, item 18, discussion vote on forming and or dissolving ad hoc committees. Any discussion vote on that?
I don't think so.
Not tonight. Okay, so we'll move on. Item 19, discussion vote on destruction of obsolete damaged records. We don't have anything for that tonight, so we'll move on. Item 20, discussion vote on future agenda items, because I was remiss on this. I would like to put on the agenda that somewhere, if we could put that before the meeting or right when the meeting starts, that we read something that's asked not only the board members, but any audience members to please take the volume down on their silence, or put on a buzz, whatever it's called.
Vibrate.
Put on vibrate their,
Mute phone. I think
yes,
covers it
their
all.
phone so that it is not disturb the meeting. Is that
So not an
something?
agenda item, just like a title.
A title that I read or whoever the president is that reads each
At the beginning
time?
of the.
Am I
the beginning.
bothering anybody tonight?
Yes,
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I'm.
as well as other board members. So yes, it was,
There's a fire up by our ranch, so that's why I'm trying to watch it.
yeah,
Okay.
I
so,
apologize.
so that I would read, or whoever the president is at the beginning of every meeting, just so that
Right.
we remember to do that. And it would include anyone who might be disturbing, that they would need to put their either Teams or Zoom on mute if they have stuff going off. Okay, so any other future, agenda items? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion second, no discussion, right? Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. The meeting is adjourned at 6:21 PM. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you, well, some of us will see you at the state update meeting, otherwise the following week.
Thank you, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Great
Thank you.
meeting.
Bye,
Everybody.
everyone.
Good night.